Federal regulators say design flaws are to blame for troubles at the San Onofre nuclear power plant. I'm Peggy Pico. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, we'll tell you what regulators say they've found.
I'm Joanne Ferry, and at the roundtable tonight, more reaction to President Obama's controversial decision to stop deporting young illegal immigrants. Congressman Brian Bilbray has called it a backdoor to amnesty and says it violates the Constitution. We speak with him from Washington.
Also tonight, bidding wars are heating up because of the shortage of homes for sale in San Diego. And a Charger legend calls it a career today. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Good evening. Federal regulators say design flaws are to blame for problems that shut down the San Onofre nuclear power plant. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission is holding a public meeting about the plant in Orange County right now. It's been shut down since January because of excessive wear in the tubes that carry radioactive water inside the plant. Those tubes are inside its steam generators. And an NRC official now says it appears the design of those generators is the source of the tube problems. After years of debate and 18 months of construction, San Diego Gas and Electric turned on the Sunrise Power Link transmission line over the weekend. The 500,000-volt transmission line links San Diego to the Imperial Valley. SDG.
The moment we put the transmission line in service, the ability to import power into San Diego increased by about 40%. 800 megawatts of additional import capability into San Diego, reliable service for our customers during the summer, the ability to import new, clean, green energy from renewable power projects that are being constructed right now in the Imperial Valley.
SDG&E identified the Sunrise Power Link as a key component to preventing blackouts while the San Onofre stays offline this summer. A French technology company has won a $25 million award to support its manufacturing plant here in San Diego. Soitec acquired the Rancho Bernardo facility back in December. The award from the Department of Energy will help it produce solar modules for large projects. The new Soitec plant is expected to create 450 jobs. The San Diego City Council approved new contracts with 6 labor unions today. Under the new deals, city workers will still take a 6% salary reduction, which went into effect in 2009. They'll also get 16 hours of discretionary leave. LaDainian Tomlinson went back to the Chargers today for just one more day. He signed a one-day contract with team owner Dean Spanos and promptly announced his retirement from football. Tomlinson was a running back for the Chargers for 9 years, setting records and becoming the NFL's Man of the Year. He moved on to the New York Jets after clashes with the team's general manager, but he says in his heart he was always a Charger and doesn't have any hard feelings.
We always went out on that field and we had the same goal in mind, to try to win a championship. And we worked our butts at it. That was our goal, every single year. And so, and to me, we always had that relationship. We're always going to have a relationship. Now, just like brothers or, your close cousins, you may not disagree all the time with the way things are done, but at the end of the day, you love them guys. Them your brothers. You have spent so much time with them. And that's all. It was that same case, and I didn't look at it any different. I still love these guys.
Tomlinson says he expects to stay involved in football, and he says he has some things brewing, but isn't ready to say what those things are. A San Diego congressman says he believes President Obama's new immigration policy violates the Constitution. The policy allows some illegal immigrants who came to the U.S. as children to apply for work permits if they are 30 years old or younger. We will speak with Congressman Brian Bilbray about his objections in just a few minutes. But first, here in San Diego, an immigration lawyer says she's been flooded with calls from people hoping they can apply for the new status. Joanne has more at the Evening Edition Roundtable.
Some are praising the president, and for many it's life-changing, but the strict rules and regulations of this policy means many are still not eligible. Joining me to discuss local reaction is my guest, Lilia Velasquez. She's a San Diego attorney specializing in immigration and nationality law. Thanks for being here, Lilia.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So tell me what it was like in your office Friday after this announcement was made.
It was frantic all day long. Ever since the announcement came out in the morning, people called. I mean, on the one hand, I'm very happy that called. But, you know, it was grandparents, parents, children, relatives. They thought it was a general type of benefit, you know, like amnesty back in the 1980s. But we told them that, no, it only applies to young kids or people under 30 who have completed high school, who meet certain criteria. And so many of them were disappointed, or they believed that if their kid could benefit, then they could benefit as dependents, which is also not the case because the memo outlining the benefit specifically excludes any dependents.
So what was that like then, to have to tell somebody maybe 33 years old or somebody 63 years old, sorry, this doesn't apply to you?
They are very, very sad. They feel, why didn't this come, 3 years ago? Why did Obama wait 3 years to do something this positive for the community? And I think, to be honest, is that the Congress had been debating the issue for more than a decade. The DREAM Act has been introduced numerous times, and a couple of times it has gone very close to an agreement, and then it dies again, and so then it gets reintroduced. So maybe Obama was thinking, let's see if the Congress can get this thing approved, because he would have greater force than just have a prosecutorial discretion policy.
I want to talk a little bit about the politics involved, but first, let's just sort of explain the difference between what this policy says and what the DREAM Act that we've talked about would have done.
Well, the difference is that this is just a policy, so it doesn't have the weight of congressional legislation. It can be taken away, it can be revoked, even by the Obama administration. But certainly if Mitt Romney gets elected, then he's already said on the record, I am going to veto it, I'm going to revoke it. Now he's changed his posture. He's saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, but what Obama did was wrong. And so with amnesty back in the 80s, everybody benefited who met the requirements. Here, it's only a segment of the 11 million undocumented people that we have, which is the young kids, many of them infants, who were brought to this country. This is the only country they know. They feel they're Americans. They think like Americans. And yet, when it comes time to graduate from high school, to apply for a driver's license, to get a job, they realize, I have no status. I'm illegal. And many of them get discouraged. I've had many families bring me their children to my office. Can you please tell my son, can you please tell my daughter if there's any hope that something can be done to fix the situation, because now I feel responsible. I'm the one who violated the law. They were innocent kids. And so the parents are really torn. But the decision that they made to bring their kids here without documents, the kids did not violate the law, the parents did. And so what this policy is, we have a vulnerable group of kids who are bright, who are in school. Let's do something about that. Let's bring them in. Let them get out of the shadow. Let's benefit from the education that we have already given them. So it makes perfect sense. I think the public as a whole, they are in favor of this policy, even though it doesn't have the same weight as a regular, piece of legislation. It is the politicians who are very angry with what Obama has done.
We're going to be speaking with Congressman Bilbray in just a moment, who opposes this decision by the Obama administration. You already touched on it. This could be reversed if we have a new administration. Many have criticized the president for saying, questioning his timing, this is politics, this is about trying to sort of woo the Latino vote. Is that not the case?
Of course it's the case. It's always about politics. It's always about, getting the Latino vote or the gay vote or some conservative vote. Immigration is one of those topics that is visceral, that people can say, I'm against that, and they don't know why they're against it, but they want to be against it because it sounds right. But when they look at an individual case, like this student who was in tears, calling, saying, this is my dream.
We had on the show on Friday.
Right,
yeah.
Media, and I want to make my parents proud, then you can see wow, why deny this person that opportunity? It benefits them and it benefits the country.
And we're out of time, but I do want to send people to our website where they can see that interview with the young woman, and that's at kpbs.org. Lilia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Congressman Brian Bilbray does not support President Obama's new policy directive. He joins me now from Washington, D.C. via Skype. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you.
In a statement Friday, you called the new policy a backdoor to amnesty. What would you suggest should happen to the nearly 1 million young people who came to the U.S. as children?
I say, first of all, we've got to make sure we don't attract another 1 million or 2 million by finally addressing the real problem instead of continuing to treat the symptoms, causing a lot of deaths along our border. You know, we all, Democrats, Republicans, could finally just crack down on the real bad guys here. And these are the employers who are exploiting illegal labor. And I just wish that the people that are talking about this would have to go down the border and recover bodies like I have. You know, everybody in the world is listening to the President of the United States, and he has just announced that if you send your children to the United States illegally, that he will make sure that they're accommodated and they're given a work permit. This is the kind of thing that we need, the last thing we need to do right now. And got to remember, it wasn't that many months ago that we busted a big smuggling ring for kids in Phoenix, and where they were holding the kids hostage after the parents had paid for the kids to be smuggled in.
But, Congressman, what do you do, though? The fact is, you've got 800,000 people, 800,000 young people who this would apply to. What do you do with those kids now who are in university, who've graduated, who can't work here legally? What do you do?
You stop sending mixed messages.
But do you deport them? Do you not give them work permits? What do you do?
What you don't deport them, but what you do is you don't invite another generation of illegal immigrants being sent in here, because you've just announced that America will accommodate the illegal immigration problem one way or the other, regardless, and ignore the fact that the enforcement on the real source, and that's the employment problem, needs to be addressed. And Democrats and Republicans, both sides, are guilty on this. They'll talk about border control. They'll talk about accommodating those who are illegally in the country, but they won't talk about cracking down on the illegal employers. So you can then talk about what do you do with those who are left in the country after you finally have shut down the illegal flow.
Now,
let me just say this. The people that would think that this would help the problem are the type of individuals who would think that drilling a hole in the bottom of a boat will drain the water out. What you're going to do now is create a whole new incentive for people to send their children illegally into this country. Once we stop the illegal flow and mostly stop the illegal employers, then we can talk about all kinds of great ideas. But until we do that, all we're doing is adding to the problem, not reducing it, at a huge human cost, too. Remember, hundreds of people die every year trying to come into this country illegally, including children.
Now, Congressman, this was not an act of Congress. This was instead an executive order. That means a new administration could undo this. So if you were reelected and Mitt Romney is president, would you ask him to undo this policy?
Look, this act is so far over the, reasonable constitutional limitations. This may be the kind of thing that somebody does in governors in Chicago may do, but this is totally far beyond the constitutional responsibility of the president. If the president believes that he has the right to pick and choose when to stop enforcing the law, why doesn't he give amnesty to the medical drug clinics in California that he's been cracking down on, while he's given waivers that he has not been doing the same kind of enforcement in Colorado? Could it be because Colorado is a swing political state and that the politics takes precedence over the Constitution or legal enforcement? The president isn't waiving enforcement on those medical clinics in California, and if he claims he has the right to do this for one group, why isn't he doing it for other groups too? This is really getting down to a 14th Amendment issue of equal protection on the law. Does the executive branch believe that they have the right to veto or to ignore laws at will or pass legislation at will out of the White House? Why have Congress if you're going to do that? And I guess his argument is that he thinks that Congress doesn't matter and that the White House should have all this power. And now all I got to say is if he thinks he's got this latitude, why isn't he executing the same latitude and not not arresting people for having medical marijuana clinics in California.
Congressman, I want to get this on the record because we haven't got a lot of time left. I know in your statement on Friday you also said that this might be a violation of the law. So will you, if reelected and there's a new administration, ask the new administration to undo this policy, to reverse this policy?
Absolutely want the law enforced until Congress changes it. That is what the Constitution says. That is what Brian Bilbray and and the president swore to uphold.
Congressman Bilbray, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Marine officers across the country got intensive training on ethics today. The one-day stand-down was designed to address such issues as the killing of civilians in Iraq and images of troops urinating on dead bodies. Commanders say those things are not what the Corps is all about. The lessons learned by officers today are to be passed down to the rank and file. California lawmakers are still negotiating with Governor Jerry Brown about making cuts to the state's welfare programs. Brown wants to make cuts to CalWORKs, the state's welfare to work program, which serves 1 million children. The average family in CalWORKs gets $465 a month. This is just one of several budget details to be worked on this week. Microsoft has unveiled its newest toy for tech lovers. It's a new tablet computer called Surface. It's intended to compete with the Apple iPad. The Surface comes with a kickstand to hold it upright and a keyboard that's part of its cover. The company says the Surface is a, quote, tablet that's a great PC and a PC that's a great tablet. What it's not saying, when it will be available, and how much it will cost. The newest twist in San Diego's housing market is a shortage of homes for sale. Inventory is less than half of what it was a year ago, and that's frustrating for realtors and buyers.
We've been looking for a house since January, and it stopped being fun about 2.5 months ago.
Maria Minos and her husband typically compete with 5 to 15 other would-be buyers that overbid on homes sight unseen.
We have started overbidding. The most I've overbid on a house so far is $30,000.
Realtors are vying for sellers, too. This Pacific Beach flyer comes with a warning of sorts, boldly stating the $686,000 home sold with multiple offers at $60,000 above asking price in just 1 week.
There's approximately 6,000 houses on the market throughout all of San Diego County. That's down from about 15,000 about a year ago at this time.
This Normal Heights condo had 3 offers in as many days. Realtor Chris Spade has a few ideas on what's behind the inventory shortage.
One, we've got great interest rates. There's a lot of buyers. There's more buyers than there are properties. And the banks that have this, quote, shadow inventory of bank-owned property, they've not released it all yet.
Meanwhile, last month, home prices in Southern California rose to a 20-month high. That's a jump of nearly 5.5%, according to the research group DataQuick. But there's speculation the housing shortage is artificial, and banks are purposely withholding property to stabilize the market or raise prices.
You know, obviously I want my home here in San Diego.
But Minos blames someone else.
I think the thing that's really killing this for people like myself who really want to just live in the home is the home flippers. Because these people are coming in, they're putting down cash, and the cash is always being accepted over someone who's going to come in with a conventional loan who might be willing to pay a little bit more.
DataQuick reports the median price for new and existing houses and condos in Southern California is now $295,000. Nearly 500 firefighters are working to surround a brush fire east of Campo tonight. The fire has destroyed one home and threatened about 200 others. Homes in Boulevard and Live Oak Springs were evacuated. Full containment of the fire is expected tomorrow night. There's a red flag warning out tonight for San Diego County's mountains and deserts. The Weather Service says those areas could get wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. The warning will be in effect through tomorrow night. Now here's a look at the forecast for the next few days. Residents of San Diego's Sherman Heights neighborhood woke up recently to find an important mural in their community had been vandalized. The graffiti had signs of a neighborhood or gang rivalry, and that's come as a wake-up call to one neighborhood activist who says she's taken the vandalism as a call to action to encourage more young people to take pride in their neighborhood. KPBS Fronteras reporter Adrian Florido has the story.
The Latino communities east of downtown San Diego are sprinkled with murals like this one in Sherman Heights. It mixes scenes from Mexican history with local neighborhood scenes, the Chicano activism of the 1970s, even residents many people still remember. Liliana Garcia Rivera helped paint this mural in the late 70s. As Los Angeles-style gang culture was trickling into San Diego neighborhoods back then, she and her friends formed a community group called Sherman Unidos. They teamed up with a professional muralist and designed this mural to reflect their vision of their community. The mural's still there, 3 decades later.
This is me, and this is Irene Cañedo Tiny. So people were depicted, and now it's funny to hear the stories because you run into people and they say, oh yeah, you know, I know about Sherman, I know about the mural. My aunt was on the mural, my uncle was on the mural. And so there's all these stories. People want to feel connected, you know, to parts of the mural.
But Garcia Rivera was shocked to wake up recently to see that it had been tagged. There's no shortage of graffiti in this neighborhood, and gangs are a problem. But this mural had been respected until now. Garcia Rivera says it's only ever been defaced one other time in 30 years. For Garcia Rivera, the message was clear. She thinks the vandals were from a different neighborhood because they crossed out a symbol that represents the Sherman Heights neighborhood.
Well, I think this one was a target because it says Sherman, you know, and the history is gone. I can assure you that the kids that did this are probably young teenagers. So there's no history anymore. People don't know what Sherman Unidos was in the other neighborhoods.
When she posted a picture of the graffiti on Facebook, some of her friends were furious. They talked about how young people no longer respected the community's history. Some thought it was a sign of disrespect, which in this neighborhood can have serious consequences.
And I think some of the people that saw my posting took it the wrong way, you know, and saying, oh, we've been disrespected. And the word respect is very important in the community, in the barrio. The word respect means a lot. You know, as you know, with everything that happens in gang violence, people die over disrespect.
She took the picture down before things got too heated. Instead, she and a friend started cleaning up the mural, scrubbing off some of the most offensive marks. And she got to thinking that this was more than just kids disrespecting a mural and all the history that it symbolized. Sherman Heights and other Latino neighborhoods east of downtown are changing. A recent analysis found that they were among the most rapidly gentrifying neighborhoods in the entire country. As the nearby East Village neighborhood of downtown gets redeveloped and wealthier, white families move in. In the past, Garcia Rivera's neighborhood was a lot more segregated. Residents felt more of a sense of being one community. But a lot of that's been forgotten, she says, and with it, a pride in being part of a unified Latino community. And that's why she thinks whoever vandalized this mural had no problem doing it. Another mural a few streets away was vandalized just a few weeks ago.
So it was something that was not positive at all, but I feel that we can turn this around and make it something positive. I think that this is like a wake-up call for us to say, you know what, there's a lot of activism happening in the barrios right now, you know, in the historic barrio district. And so the activism now needs to trickle down to young people.
Garcia Rivera has at least one idea about how to do that. There's a store with an empty wall not too far away, and she wants to ask the owner to let neighborhood kids paint their own mural there.
And I think it's time for us to fix this mural, fix the other one on 25th Street, and create a new one for them so that they can tell their story.
Tonight in the public square, your comments on our story last week about the ban on foie gras. Foie gras is a delicacy. Translated, it means fat liver. Ducks are force-fed to fatten their livers 2 or 3 weeks before slaughter. And as of July 1st, the sale and production of foie gras will be illegal in California, the first state to enact such a ban in the nation. Authors of Senate Bill 1520 say the way foie gras is made amounts to animal cruelty. Well, many of you weighed in on this debate. debate. And our first comment comes from Peking Duck. And in what some might view as a statement of self-preservation, Peking Duck writes, if such treatment of animals were necessary for research that could cure a disease or bring about some needed benefit to society, there might be an argument for it. But simply doing it for something really tasty seems wrong. Ben72 says, is it just about the force feeding on this issue? If I went out and bioengineered gluttonous ducks that gobble down this stuff on their own, would there still be a problem? And Kirsten Bates writes on Facebook, I had not previously heard of foie gras, but I totally agree with Mr. Pease. I think it's wrong to force feed animals, whether torturous or not. We are the keepers of animals, and I think we need to respect them. You can watch Angela Caron's story on the foie gras debate at kpbs.org/evening edition. Tell us what you think. Send me an email, jferrian@kpbs.org, or drop us a line on Twitter or Facebook.
Before we leave you tonight, we want to congratulate two of our KPBS colleagues who won local Emmys over the weekend for their work on Evening Edition. Our graphic designer, David Strive, and studio supervisor, Don Benke, were awarded an Emmy for the design of the Evening Edition set. Congratulations to you both. And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening.